Right, history hunter coming back at you from another town, searching for relics that may never be found. So, in today's society, we have a major movement against slavery and taking down all of these statues that represent slavery. And it's really just such a windfall that's occurring here. It just started out with kind of obscure names from the Civil War, like Robert E. Lee and any general who was a part of the war, who fought for the South primarily. But and now I'm reading about how and this is what Trump predicted, that he asked, where does it stop? Now I'm reading about how George Washington's seat in a church is now considered like blasphemous, like it's offensive to mark where George Washington was sitting in a church, and they want to erase that history, which is something, as a history hunter, I would want to come across in my traveling around. And this makes me wonder. After reading that, it got something like changing my mind a little bit about what happened to the Indians and their history, all the history that all the ways they changed the features of the lands to suit their lifestyles. Were they really that so savage and work with only things that decompose quickly, or when European pioneers came along, could they have caused a lot of damage and destruction to the artifacts that Indians created? And looking in today's modern in our modern day lifestyles, and seeing this movement against the history of slavery. Well, whites hated Indians as much as whites hate each other over slavery, blacks hate each other over slavery, and it looks like history repeating itself to me. Okay, so it does give some explanation to why I'm just not finding any history of the Indians outside of museums. That's the only place that you find anything historically relevant to Indians. Okay, interesting things, lots of arrowheads and mortars and pestles and the type of baskets they weaved, but structures, they're non-existent. Any memorials? Because I would say it's pretty certain that Indians did create stonework. I mean, they created the whatever those wooden temple things, that they're well known for, the totem. So what about their stonework? We have like pieces of axe that we see every so often, pots, but these sites, I'm under the impression that they were just completely destroyed and buried and just as an attempt by the European invaders, my ancestors, as they just destroyed Indian relics as an attempt to erase that history, so we could just start fresh, start with our own European history. And that's what I've been finding on the West Coast. The Indians who lived here before, one of the largest populations in North America, lived around Santa Cruz, as far as what the museums are saying. All along this Pacific coast, it had some of the largest populations. So you should expect to find some of the most interesting things that the Indians created. But it's not so. And there's probably people to blame for that.